Welcome back. Today we're talking about data encryption. We're going to cover 6 steps of total data encryption. Data encryption is not a set it forget it system. It must be managed and monitored constantly to make sure it's done correctly. We're going to cover in each mini module each step in detail. You can then go back and review each step if you have questions, or reach out to us here at NCS if you have more questions. Step 1. Time to start thinking. Let's face it, every company is different, so it stands to reason that data protection policy will vary from company to company. The data protection requirements of a small company will be significantly different than large multinational organizations, but everyone is at risk for data breach. We are all human, we all make mistakes. Who hasn't accidentally emailed a file attachment to the wrong person, or left a phone or a device back at airport security? I know I left a laptop on the airplane. Luckily I got it back, but I also left the laptop in a rental car. And it happens to everybody. What do you do if the unthinkable happens? What if you discover a data breach or unencrypted data leaves your organization? You need a solution that will not only find the culprit quickly, but will also determine which data has escaped from your company. You must focus on the policy first and then the encryption technology. As with so many security strategies, best practices for encryption begins with establishing strong policies. Are you going to encrypt the disk drive, removable drives, or just certain types of data, maybe certain files and folders? Maybe you only want certain documents to be unreadable to some people, but not others. Or maybe you want a mixture of some of both. For most businesses, making important information accessible to the right people at the right time is a priority, but you must have good policies with a great technology to get you there without compromising your security, but also making it easy for your employees and the recipients of your data to read it. Some considerations you have to have when you start talking about data encryption policies is you have to involve all the relevant stakeholders in the decision. IT management, operations, HR, finance. They'll help you identify which information you need and which files need extra protection. You also consider access control. Think about it. If everyone's got a key, there's no point of locking the door, right? Work with the stakeholders to determine who needs access to what type of information, and then through the audit process, give them access only to what's relevant to them at that time. What about compliance? You need to understand if you are in a compliance situation, or if you will be in the future, then you need to start considering whether you PCI DSS, HIPAA, SOX, the EU-wide DPP plan, the NIST 800. There's all kinds of different compliance needs, and they all require different levels of encryption. Just because you're encrypting your files does not make you compliant as well. You need to make sure you're doing the right proper encryption for the type of compliance that you're required to meet. You need to identify the regulations, laws, and guidelines, and any other external factors that govern the way your data is secured. And you got to set the policies to work with those. For example, automatic encryption of customer credit card data or employee social security numbers or healthcare information should always be included in your plan. And you can't always base it on your particular compliance. You may also base it on your client or the recipient's compliance requirements as well. All in or all out. Put your policy in writing, have senior management endorse it, and communicate to all your end users, including any third parties that handle your sensitive data. Not everyone will like the fact that you have these policies and the strict use of your data, but that's fine, because the policy has to be that if they don't like your plan and your policies, and they don't have to approve it, and they don't have to access your data. Back it up. Best practices always involve backing up your data before installing any new software. Encryption is no different. Make sure you back up all your end user data before applying encryption. You don't want something to go wrong in the middle of the encryption process and then you have no option to get your data back. You want to make sure that once you encrypt it, it is accessible using your encryption keys. If not, you may have to restore it and start over again. Keep it simple. Minimize end user burden and make it something that if your employees like it and it's easy to use, then they'll use it more often. So which do you choose? Full disk encryption for your entire hard drive or just maybe certain files? It's really simple to say that one is better than the other, but I say, honestly, you must do both if you're going to get total file encryption and total disk encryption. We're covering 6 steps to total data encryption. That was step 1.